Welcome to another episode of the Lightspeed Investing Podcast. I've got another Philip here by the name of Phillip Robinson. He is actually out in North Carolina, Durham, and he's going to talk to us today about his journey, right, that led him to become the digital marketer that he is now. Right? What's going on, Phil? How you doing, man?
I am doing well. It's been a good week so far, and I'm just happy and blessed to be here. How about yourself?
I'm great. I officially turned 32 coming out of this weekend.
hmm
And just embracing this decade. I was not, I would say, as open to it last year, but super excited to have you on. I think you just got done teaching some classes, right? You want to talk about that for?
Yeah, I actually just finished teaching a digital marketing class, so it's all around me. If I'm not doing it, I'm teaching it. So yeah, just finished my session for today. I teach probably about 4 days a week, but yeah, just finished teaching my class.
And where is it that you teach?
So it's online. I teach online, but I have about 35, 37 different universities within my classes. So I want to say I have about 240 students total, and the students range from let's just say like Arizona State University, San Diego State, Texas State, Texas Tech, Harvard, and like the list just continues to go on. So right now I have about 35 different universities within my classes.
I love it, man. I love it. So, like, what do you teach them in these classes? Do you kind of teach them a framework? Do you teach them what you are currently doing? You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of curious what's the subject matter is and what range is there.
Yeah, so for the majority of people that are taking this class, they're beginning marketers or aspiring marketers, I should say, so that they come in with zero marketing experience.
Okay.
They come in here like, I don't even know if I want to do this as a career. I just needed some extra hours to graduate. So we take them through everything from starting out with like an empathy map, understanding your customer persona. I take them through building their first website with Shopify, working them with their landing pages, their copy. Then eventually we go over to like the social media side with your ads. So I teach them Google ads, Facebook ads, content marketing, content pillars, and everything. So we go through so much within the I would say about 2.5 months that we're together, and a lot of them they grow exponentially within the time. Some of them leave with jobs, internships. Some of them use the information I'm giving them to leverage with their businesses, and they end up making more money. So it's a lot of different things. But most people come in with zero marketing experience.
Is it, you said it's like 2 months, so is it like a boot camp? Is it a certificate more so? Specifically, like what is the
Yeah.
outcome, when they finish?
So they do get certifications when they
Okay.
finish. They do get certificates that they're able to showcase on LinkedIn and whatnot, and show that they've gone through this program, and so they have this expertise with marketing. But you almost want to think about it. So it's with a company. So I work with a company that partners with these universities.
Uh-huh.
So for the students, it's almost just like another class that they signed up for, right? To an outsider, it can look like a boot camp, but it's not at all. Like it's not a boot camp. It's like an actual class. They're getting actual credits for this, whether let's just say 3 hours of credits or 4 hours, whatever it is for their university.
Okay.
And then yes, they do come out with a certification that they're able to showcase of everything that they learn.
Great, man. So obviously, it sounds to me like you found your lane. You enjoy marketing.
Yeah.
You do it and you teach it, right? But
hmm
obviously, there was a moment that led you to this path. So,
Right.
do you mind kind of sharing with the audience your journey and what kind of let you here? And feel free to, elaborate. Okay.
Yeah, of course, of course. So I was working, or not even working. Let's go back a little bit more. When I was in high school, my career, that's when my career started. It started about 14 years old. And a lot of people are like, you started your career at 14? Yes, I started at 14 years old. Um, and I had an opportunity that was given to me, or I shouldn't say given, I was approached with when I was in high school. And it was around working for a TV broadcasting crew for a minor league baseball team over the summer. I didn't care anything about baseball. I didn't care anything about working in television, but they offered free food every single game. So I was like, hey, listen, you telling a 14-year-old that he gets free food every day
What are
or
we talking about?
during
We're
every
talking about
game?
hot dogs, nachos.
It was like whatever. Yeah. So it was like hot dog, nachos, pizza, popcorn, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like you
Maybe some
gotta,
Skittles. Maybe some
yeah,
Skittles.
you got a $10
Yeah.
voucher. That was
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it sold me. So I put in my application, interviewed, got it, ending up loving it. I loved everything about broadcasting. I love putting on the headsets, talking to every other camera operator, the directors and whatnot. I felt like I was playing Xbox with my homies, right?
And
So
this was in high school though, right?
I was 14 years
And
old.
this is high school, like within your high school program, right? This is what you said.
It wasn't my high school program. So a minor league baseball team here, they have a program
Oh, oh, okay.
and the entire TV crew is run by high schoolers.
Ah,
So that's how it was. They came to my high school recruiting for this.
okay.
So yeah, I ended up loving it, and that was the start of my television career. So I did that while I was in high school. I did that while I was in college as well. And when I graduated college, I ended up getting a job for a local news station
Hmm.
as a video editor and also like reporter and stuff like that. And then I was also working for another minor league baseball team
Oh, okay.
as their social media marketing manager. I believe that's what the
Were
title
you also
was.
studying marketing in college, by the way? Like that?
No,
Oh, okay. Like business?
I went to school for media broadcast.
Ah,
So yeah, because I that's what I knew I wanted to do. So I didn't when I marketing was never on my mind ever. So I was working at the news station and then I was working at the minor league baseball team doing their social media and also producing their MILB streams and stuff like that. But I was working myself to the ground. So I would have to be at work at the news station at 2 a.m. I would get
ooh,
off I would get off at 9 a.m. And then I had a 45-minute drive to the minor league baseball stadium, which was 45 minutes away. And I would work from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on a normal work day. But then if there's a baseball game, most baseball games happen at 6 or 7 p.m.
yeah.
So then I would have to stay the entire game, of course, because I'm full time. And then the game, baseball,
Damn.
yeah, baseball doesn't end for
But
at
how often
least
did
two
that
and a half.
happen though? Was that like once a week? You know what I mean?
No, baseball is a homestand. So this is anywhere between 5 to 7, sometimes up to 8 days in a row that this is happening. So I would have a lot
Yeah.
of days where it's a stretch where I would work from 2 a.m. all the way up until 10:30 p.m., sometimes 11 p.m. and had to
Oh
be back at
wow.
work at 2. So it got bad to say the least, right?
Yeah.
It
No
got so bad
doubt.
to the point that I was
Damn.
sleeping in the closet sometimes at work at the news station. And so I asked myself, I was
Why
like,
why is that why was that job from 2 a.m. to 9 though? Why is it so open?
so it's the morning news. So the news happens all throughout the day. So I want to say I was doing work for the 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. news, right? So I had to be there at 2 a.m. to edit the videos for
Oh
the
my God.
5 a.m. newscast. And then when I finished that, I
Did you have
edited
to
the videos for
interact with people
7.
or were you back in and you were just doing your thing, you know?
I was in a small closet just editing the
Oh,
entire time.
jeez.
Yeah. And that was a part of the job. And on the weekends I was a news like a videographer, news reporter. So I would go out in the field and I would go to different
So you had those
cells.
two jobs, you had those two
Yeah.
jobs, and then you had college on top, right? Basically.
Now I graduated already. This was
Oh, you're
after
saying this.
college.
Okay, okay. I
I
was
couldn't
confused.
do this while I was in college because in
Oh no,
college,
I know. I was like,
yeah,
damn.
no, 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 no. In college, I
Okay,
ran track and cross country. I was working in TV still in cross while I was in
okay, yeah,
college,
yeah.
but
So would
I
you
ran
say
track
you
and
worked
cross
a
country
full time and a part time, or was it like two full times after college?
full time and part time at the same time.
Okay, full time and part time. Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
it was rough. It was easily like 70-hour weeks.
It's dude, this
Honestly,
sounds rough
I
to me.
hated
I
it.
mean, I'm just like, because those hours are like crucial recovery time, and your sleep cycle probably must have gone. So, did you get into coffee yet at that point, or?
Nah, everyone used to ask me that. They were like, "What coffee do you drink?" I said, "I drink water. That's it." They were like,
Damn,
"There's no way." I was like, "Listen, that's all I got for you. I just drink water."
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so it got to the point that I was like eventually sleeping in the closet at work because I was just so tired. I was falling asleep while driving. and all this type of stuff. And so that's why I was like, I have to figure out how to make money online because I don't want to do this anymore.
Did you sleep
And
during the games, the baseball games? Even despite
I couldn't because I was
I was.
producing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You ever seen like the behind the scene videos of someone like saying like, oh, camera two, take two, put up graphic? I was that person. So I couldn't sleep. I had to
Well, I
be
was
awake
curious
and
because
alert.
of all the hype and activity and energy around
Mm.
you is like, did you like want to doze off and you're like, I just can't because of the, you know what I mean?
Only during the slow times of baseball. Baseball can be very slow at times,
Oh,
and
okay.
don't let there be a rain delay. Oh man, I was like, I'm taking a nap. So yeah, no. Yeah.
So hold on.
Yeah,
So how long were you doing this before you were like, man, I got to do this, do something online?
it's a blur. I will probably say 5 months. And if I were to actually look back at history, it may have been a year. I don't know. It was all I know that every day ran together working hours like that. So
Yeah,
I'm not even sure.
jeez. And then you had the weekends too. You work on the weekends too, you said.
Yeah, because the games still happen on the weekends,
Right.
right? Like baseball still happens on the weekend. This is a professional team, so there was no day.
Where did you
Weren't
find
even
time to
off.
like eat and work out and take care of yourself?
I used to do push-ups at work, and people used to laugh at me. I was known as like the push-up guy. So every, random like times throughout the day, I would just like start cranking out push-ups. They're like, "Oh, there he goes again." I was like, "Well, I gotta get a workout in sometime."
Push-ups during the like the night crew or the like the day
Just
or
all throughout the day, just
all
whenever.
throughout, just whenever.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
were known as the push-ups guys in both your full-time and part-time.
yeah. I've always been that type of person, just to do
Wow.
random things, like and just
And then
not
what about
stop.
the food? What about the food aspect?
The food aspect was fine because TV always provides food, like
Oh,
as an industry in general. So I
oh,
was
okay.
always good. So at the news station, there was like a convenience store downstairs, and they always brought in like pizza every single day. It wasn't the healthiest thing, but I was like, what, 22, so it didn't really
Yeah,
matter to me at the time.
I got you.
And then at the baseball team, there was concession stands with like chicken tenders. There was food around, for to say the
Yeah.
least, always.
Right.
So
That's
I
good.
was
That's
good.
good. I'm proud of you though, man. I mean, that sounds like a
Thank you,
grind, bro. That's a business grind right there, you know.
man.
Yeah.
I that period taught me that I had that dog in me. Like if I really need to like put boots to the ground, like all right, cool. I did
Well, you
this
know,
once, so I can
what
do it
I would
again.
say is, from a similar, I would say, perspective,
Hmm.
is that you maximized your youth.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. Like I think like Alex Hermosi said, you could be a very skilled 30-year-old, but an underlived 30-year-old, or you could be a
Mm-hmm.
very well-lived 30-year-old who's underskilled. And I think,
Hmm.
what you decided to do, because life is an accumulation of choice, right?
Right.
Choices, and that's what gets reflected in your reality. Like you decided to maximize the abundance of youthful energy that you had, and now you get to coast a little bit, right?
Hmm.
Still do what you want, but like in a more, I would say, comforting capacity. So kudos to you.
Yeah. Thank you. No, that's exactly what it was maximizing my youth. Even though now like I'm only 28, so I still feel very youthful, but I'm not pulling a 2 a.m. to
It's the
11 p.m.
stamina.
day.
My
Yeah,
friends
I'm
and I
not
talk
doing
about
it.
that. It's because like when I crossed that threshold of 30, we were
Mhm.
like, we still feel that way, but your body just can't. And you naturally remember like you used to look at old people, you're like, damn, like, they're all like going to bed by 9, 10, or whatever. And like we're like up to like 4 or 5 a.m. and it's like easy.
Mhm.
Like now if I do that, like I have massive headaches, bro.
Oh
You know what I
man.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it just like it just like and then it kind of throws me off the next day. So
Hmm.
so my friend kind of he described it like, it's like you can't go triple overtime anymore. You may be able to if you're like, you got all the food in you, you had the right sleep, and you do it
Hmm.
like on occasion, that
Right.
like one time, but it's like it's not as sustainable as it was before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I promise you, it's not sustainable now. But
No.
that's how I ended up doing. I just did research, right, about different ways to make money online. And so at the time, people were like drop shipping, digital marketing. And that's why I did more research, learned about digital marketing. And started my own dropshipping store. I was selling like bow ties, bracelets, stuff like that. I'm running my own ads, so I had to learn how to open up a Shopify store, which is funny because that's what I teach now, and it's just like a full circle moment. So opened up my own store, ran my own ads, invested into like mentors, so like learning how to run ads properly, created my own like video ad sets, and I was a video editor, so it was like easy for me. And then I learned more about branding as well, right? So marketing and branding kind of go side by side. And so that's why I started to understand like how to brand myself. And so that's why I ended up coming up with Phenom, right? And so that's like the branding I've been going by
Is that
ever
the name of your
since.
company, by the way?
Verify Phenoms.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. So that's the brand name I ended up going with. And it was funny because I always tell people when I had the idea, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a brand name that I want to go by. That's not my actual legal name because kind of like a rapper. You know how rappers have their
Yeah.
stage name? I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be
No, for
different.
sure.
And so I told my best friend, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go by Phenom. It's gonna stand for preparation, hustle, education, network overcome, and mentorship. And he was like, that's
Yeah.
stupid. And I was like, cool. I'm gonna go with it anyway. And I
You really
think
wouldn't like asking him for his opinion. You were just making a statement.
I
You
actually
know?
do really value his opinion. He's typically I would, be like, all right, cool, maybe I'll pivot.
Yeah.
But whenever you have an idea and you're just sold on it and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah,
But
nah, I'm
what
gonna
did you
do
say
this
the name
anyway.
was before that though? Or is it just it's not just Phenom though, right? It
It's
said
just,
something.
oh, well, you asked about the business name. So the
Yeah.
business is Verified Phenoms,
Verify.
VP. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but the actual brand name that I had gone by was just Phenom.
Oh, you're talking about before. Now is verified. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly. Because
Okay.
I
Well,
eventually,
you
yeah,
know, they always say like marketing is what gets people in the door, but branding, that's what keeps them coming back.
mm-hmm,
That's the reputation. It's like Starbucks, Coca-Cola, that's the recognition. That's
exactly,
also like the track record, so to speak, associated. You know what I mean? So,
exactly.
I would say like they're definitely hand in hand. Branding is more so from the perspective of longevity
Exactly.
and
And that was one thing I
sustainability.
had to understand as well because with running ads, let's just say for when I was starting out, like nobody knew who I was, what my store was. So it was just straight marketing. And then I realized to make this easier, I needed a brand.
Yeah.
And that's why I started branding myself. And funny enough, that branding actually brought me opportunities and allowed me open a door for me at Apple. And so that's how I ended up working for Apple because I was branding myself as like this drop shipper, this bow tie guy, and all this type of stuff. And I ended up talking to one of the managers at an Apple store. And he liked me. He just liked my personality. He was just like, "You want to work here?" I was like, "I'm not going to turn this down. So why not?" So ended up working for Apple for a couple years, and then the pandemic hit. And man, Philip, let me tell you, it was bad because I was a technician, and so it was completely different experience from that. And I ended up quitting my job during the pandemic, and
Yeah, yeah, because the store is
rough.
closed. Yeah.
Yeah, and it put me in a deep financial hole, um, because I didn't have any income at the moment, so I was just like hustling, trying to
Yeah.
just like sell things. I was on Craigslist, finding random gigs to do, helping people with their garages, cleaning up, just like random stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it was random, bad, but eventually, I just kept on going with digital marketing, kept on branding myself, and other opportunities continued to open doors for me, or other things just open doors for me. Ended up leading me to where I am today, with co-founder of a creative agency, now also a digital marketing instructor. Ended up writing 5 books in between that, and then like a success coach for a nonprofit. So
So what would you
in the
say like
journey,
within marketing, what are like, your bona fide skill sets and strength that you'd be like, this is where I'm a true specialist,
content marketing.
content marketing.
Yeah.
In the sense of what, like elaborate just a little bit.
Yeah, so content marketing in terms of getting your content out there to put people down a funnel, or also make sure you're establishing yourself,
Mm,
in terms of also branding. So
mm.
those are like the two things. Like I said before, branding and marketing, they need each other. So making sure that you have good content that establishes your brand, but also can push people down a funnel when you need them to.
That's great, man. So I mean, obviously this has been a journey. I mean, you said you're 28, right?
Yeah,
So
28.
when 14 was when you first got your first like media. thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I mean, you've been around the blocks for about 14 years now, right?
Half my life.
Half your life, yeah. What kind of like words of wisdom would you impart, to someone who may be younger, listening?
I would say that you should invest in knowledge and execute with when you get that knowledge. Don't be a person that just like hoards knowledge all the time. But once you get something, go ahead and
Yeah, that
actually
that
take action.
that quick implementation.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
nothing has to be perfect. You just need to take that first step forward
Yeah. No,
and
I'm
just
with you.
learn along the way.
It's
So that
true,
would be
man.
the
It's
way I would
true.
give.
You can't wait for everything. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. So you can't just be,
Hmm.
like knowledge is half of it, but the other one is applying it. If you don't ever apply it, it's almost like you didn't learn it, basically, right? You know about it,
Exactly.
but you didn't ever do nothing with it, right? So, no,
That's
that's
all.
that's absolutely true. And thank you so much for coming on, sharing your personal journey, and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah.
If the audience wanted to connect with you, what is the best way, for them to reach out?
I'm gonna say LinkedIn. Yeah, let's go with LinkedIn. So Philip Phenom Robinson on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. You have that as your middle name as well on LinkedIn?
Yeah, on LinkedIn. That's gonna be changing too because I just got married. So I'm actually changing my name to we're changing our name to Philip, or excuse me, we're changing our last name to Phenom. So eventually it's going
Oh,
to be just Philip Phenom.
okay.
But
And
yeah.
your company name is Verify Phenom.
Hmm.
Alrighty, man. And there you have it. I look forward to having you back next time so that we can talk about the intricacies of the digital marketing industry and
Yeah.
specifically, what is it that Phenom has to offer.
I love it. Let's do it. I can't wait to come back.
Awesome, man. Hey, appreciate you, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Talk to you soon, Philip.
All right, man. Thanks.